Should I put on my wedding ring?
You don't have your wedding ring on? Go put your wedding ring
on.
on.
Okay. Love you.
Hi everybody!
Hey.
Welcome back to my channel. On today's video, I have my wonderful husband here, Harumi.
Hello.
And we are going to talk you guys through how we had our dream wedding and only spent $4,000. Actually less than that. So we wanted to sort of give you guys some tips and tricks on how we save money, how we had the wedding that I've always dreamt of.
Beautiful.
Yeah. The first thing that I think is really, really important is to decide what's important first to you guys. Some of the most important things to me were videography and photography because I'm a very visual person. I love the idea of having the keepsakes and the memories forever. After the whole thing is over, that's all you're left with. That's all that you really have to look back at, to share with friends and family that couldn't be there. To me, having quality video and quality photography was a huge thing for me. What was like important to you?
Actually opposite. And for me it was more the experience in itself. Just to enjoy that moment and to be around the people that I loved when I married the person that I love.
Yeah.
That being said, it was really great and always kind of made me emotional and tear up when I watched the videos.
Yeah. So it's nice that we had that combination. It's also really important to me. We had two separate events. So we had our ceremony, which was on one day in Maui, and then we had our reception back on Oahu, which was more of just like a cocktail party sort of thing. So we had two experiences, and for me, the ceremony, it was really important that I not be sweaty and hot and that it be an amazing, beautiful backdrop. We had the most amazing venue. So number one, just the place that we got married at is a place actually that they have never done weddings before. It's a friend's property and they call it Oprah's Piko, or Oprah's belly button. Piko is belly button in Hawaiian. Oprah owns all the property around this property and there's this tiny little spot in the middle, and they actually were wanting to start doing weddings there, and so we said like, well, if you let us have our wedding on this little property, we'll give you the pictures in exchange that you can therefore use for promotion to get other people to like actually start renting the place out, and then they can make money that way. No bridesmaids. That was huge. We didn't have a string of people on each side, and the way that that saves money is that you're not paying for 8 bouquets of flowers, 8 boutonnieres, 8 tuxedo rentals, 8 dresses. Ring bearer was my son Aiden, my 12-year-old son, and then the flower girls were my nieces.
The reason why we saved so much money is because you had your connections.
Yeah, I guess that's true. So we should disclose that. Probably gone to at least 500 weddings, and I'm a wedding singer, so I have a lot of connections and people that work in the industry. But I got a guy. Yeah, I got a few guys, but I actually...
You need flowers? She got a guy.
So what I did for the flowers is I actually wasn't even going to go with anyone that I knew or had a connection with because I was able to find florists online through Etsy. So what I did though is I just asked a friend of mine, this is what I found online, you know, can you match this? And she said, you know what, normally it would be at least twice as much as what, you know, was quoted online, but I'll do you a favor. And she did it for me, and they were beautiful, and they were more beautiful than what I would have been able to get online. So I really lucked out that way. The other thing that really was awesome is my grandmother couldn't be there. My grandmother offered to pay for the $300 for the flowers, so we saved that $300 anyway. I bought my dress on sale, davidsbridal.com, and because I was pregnant at the time, I didn't really know like how much weight I was going to gain at that point. So I bought the dress a little bit larger, and I just altered it myself. Not everybody necessarily knows how to sew. I actually went to school for fashion design, so I kind of knew how to do that.
You say for people that don't have the natural and taught talent to sew, that it would be cheaper for them to buy a dress that they like and then get it altered somewhere else?
Well, actually, David's Bridal is great. Their alterations department is not that bad at all. But what I would say, the number one tip would be to check their online sales. And also check places like Nordstrom. They have sale racks. There's so many places online that you can shop that you can find white dresses, and it doesn't necessarily even have to be in a bridal section. White, you know what I mean? That was why I was pregnant, so.
Whoops.
It was off-white. I made my own veil, you guys. So most people spend hundreds of dollars on veils. I literally went to the fabric store. I bought tulle, which was like, I think $1.99. Bought a few yards of it. I got one of those little like tooth comb things. And I like pulled it together, sewed it, veil. I think my veil cost like $5. Oh, and that he wore a suit that he had already. I also DIY'd my own jewelry. Like I made this little shoulder jewelry stuff with my friend. I think I bought my earrings at Nordstrom for like $20 or something like that. I did my own hair and my own makeup because I also used to be a makeup artist. So my best friend that was there also was a makeup artist, so she touched me up.
Because you have so many connections, I think it was a little easier for us.
Yeah.
Although it is completely quick and easy to do, just like online videos, scroll YouTube, how to make
tutorials.
A good veil, to tutorials. And ultimately, it will be a little bit more work, but it's cheaper.
Another way that we saved for the ceremony was I was able to do amazing trades with both my videographer and photographer. Both are people that I've worked with in the wedding industry for a long time. We negotiated a price, so I actually still paid them. Then what I did is, because I'm a video editor and do video editing, I said, all I just want is the raw footage. That saved us so much money. And then also with the photographer, I also told her, like, don't worry about photoshopping all the pictures, like just give me the pictures and I can do all that myself.
If you don't feel like doing it yourself, or you don't feel capable of doing it yourself, just take the raw footage and then resource somebody else.
Exactly.
Who's a little maybe affordable to do the editing.
Most videography packages cost somewhere around, just basic packages, like 3. And that's not including same day edits. I mean, they can go up to about 7 sometimes just for videography. And then for photography on top of that too, photography can run you another $3,000 to $4,000. So we ended up doing the videography for ceremony and for our reception back on Oahu. We did a deal for like $900. And then also the photography was $800. We did have to also pay for airfare. We paid for 5 airfares round trip. One was for videographer, one was for photographer, and the other 3 was for you, me, and for Aiden. $750. That was actually
big chunk,
huge chunk. But it was so important to me that we got married in Maui because the backdrop was beautiful. We were up on this hill. It was like 60 degrees. There was no mosquitoes up that high. It was just beautiful. And when you see the video, I'll put the link below. You'll see that it was just gorgeous. It was cows.
In a cool way, not like
not like in like
cows.
There's a cow, but birds, owls, and even our photographer and videographer, while they were taking the pictures and doing the video, they were like, this is stupid beautiful. They've never really filmed anything so gorgeous before, just because the backdrop was so beautiful.
The most beautiful wedding I've ever seen. And I'm not just saying that because I was involved. It was really, really nice.
So we had our ceremony up on this venue, and then everybody went back to my mom's house because she lives in Maui. My dad and my stepmom went to Costco, and we just got lasagnas, garlic bread, salad, and just brought everybody back to my mom's house. And we only had like about 30 people in Maui, and just fed them Costco food. At that point, we really didn't care. I mean, we had really nice paper plates and stuff, and people just sat around and they talked and they enjoyed each other. The kids ran around and they played, and it wasn't stiff. It was just very organic and very relaxed. And then we went up to my stepdad's house and had a campfire and roasted s'mores. We also had everybody camp out at my mom's house, so we didn't really do hotels or we didn't do anything like that. We literally had 19 people sleeping like on my mom's floors,
couch,
air mattresses, to keep everything as cheap for everybody as possible.
Looked like a refugee camp.
Yeah.
A nice refugee camp.
A nice one. And then, a couple other ways we saved money on the ceremony is that we had our dear friend Rob, who is a slam poet, officiate the wedding and marry us.
Shout out Rob Words.
Shout out
Rob Words.
He wrote the most amazing poem that I edited our same day edit over, and it was just so special, so amazing. We were both sobbing. And then we had my dear friend Jared play the live music. So our total cost for the ceremony: videographer $900, photographer $800, airfare $750, dress was $400, total was $2,700 for the ceremony. Because my grandmother paid for the flowers, which was $300, and then my dad and my stepmom paid for the lasagnas and the garlic bread and the food, and I'm sure that was a few $100s. So now moving on to our reception. So we waited a few days and we had a reception back on Oahu for all the people that couldn't afford to fly to Maui to celebrate with us there. We had it at Manifest. It's also a place that I work at and I sing at occasionally, so I know the owners really well. Brandon Reed, love you guys.
Shout out Brandon Reed.
So I was able to do a trade with them for the venue. They were also really amazing and lenient with us being able to bring in and just pay a corkage fee for some booze. We wanted to provide some sort of liquor for our friends and family, but also not
all of it.
Be responsible for all of it. of it. So
Not all of it.
I have a friend that works for a liquor company, and they were able to donate cases of wine. Because I wasn't picky, I just said whatever you've got left over. So it was kind of a hodgepodge of different whites, a hodgepodge of different reds. They were able to donate us these 2 huge cases of wine, and we were able to offer that to all of our guests and say, if you want wine, it's free. If you want anything else, it's a full bar, and you got to pay for it. And people did. People bought their own drinks, so the bar made money.
The amount of business that they got was, I think, a little more enhanced due to the fact that everyone was there to celebrate. That's another great way to cut down on costs, is to find venues who are willing to negotiate these things and allow for them to make a good amount of money, save you a lot too.
We also bought food from Manifest, and we just did past poo-poos. There was just like 3 or 4 choices, just enough for people to nibble on. Because I've been to so many weddings, I see how much food is just wasted. We had a budget, and we just said, make as much food as you can for this, and then that was that. I really wanted to have a photo booth because I thought it was really important, again, to have the memories captured. So I rented a big, beautiful flower wall that people could take their pictures in front of. Instead of getting a photo booth person to come in, I used this camera that we're filming on, which is my Nikon 5500, and I bought one of those little remotes, and I set it up so people could just get in front of the flower wall, grab the remote, and like take as many pictures as they wanted. Also, with the company that I got the flower wall from, which is called Curate, which they're amazing. I actually sang at the groom's wedding, Abner and Chris. So I was able to do a trade with them, and then I ended up just paying for the setup and the delivery fee of the wall. So this wall that normally costs $2,000, I think I got for $400 or something. Then I also brought a mic stand with an iKLIP on it that people could just put their own iPhone on, do the 10-second thing and walk back, which a lot of people did that too because they wanted their instant picture right then that they could go post on Instagram. We did do a dessert setup of little mini cheesecakes. One of my best friends was in charge of desserts because she was also in charge of our gender reveal cake. So she ended up buying both of those things. That was her gift to us. That was also something that was there, but we didn't actually have to pay for. Live bands. So we had a live band, the Bentos, super awesome.
Shout out Bentos.
Good friends of ours that are amazing performers. Gave them a couple, like a little bit of a tip. We gave them gift cards. Sorry, guys.
From McDonald's.
Yeah, that's great. One of my favorite singers on the island, Isaac, performed our first dance song with the band that was there. And then we switched to Spotify. You know, great Spotify dance playlist, and then people just danced. Manifest also had a projector, so we didn't have to rent any of that stuff, and we were able to play the edit of our ceremony in Maui. So everybody that couldn't make it to Maui was able to see it. And then when that wasn't playing, we had just a slideshow that I had put together of just all of our pictures of us. We didn't do any favors. It wasn't a priority, so we just saved that money. We just did no favors. Your pictures and your memories are your favor. You're welcome. Had our friend, who's a fun photographer, Tim.
Shout out Tim.
He came in and just took pictures of the whole night. So he just had his camera with him.
Just like candid shots.
Candid, non-posed, just fun capturing the night. So the entire amount for our reception, the venue cost about $250. The food cost about $300. The decor, which was that flower wall, was only the thing we spent money on, which was about $400. So the total for that was $950 for the reception. So grand total, ceremony and reception.
Sorry, this is hard.
$3,800 total. And I also want to point out that we planned and executed this wedding in like 3 months, like 90
Amazing.
days. So if you don't sweat the small stuff, you don't obsess. I mean, if you give yourself 1.5 to 2 years to plan your wedding, you are gonna obsess about things that don't matter. You're gonna overplan, you're gonna overspend. So that's what I kind of liked about planning. It was also kind of a shotgun wedding because I was pregnant. I didn't want, I mean, we could have waited till after, but I didn't want to be super pregnant. I wanted the pictures to look like decent. I didn't want this huge belly in my pictures and stuff. So I was like, well, let's just do this now. And I don't think we sacrificed anything we wanted by doing it on the budget we did or in the time frame that we had. It was just absolutely perfect. It was very us, you know, it was special and meaningful, and it was just a good time.
People had fun.
We had
fun.
Yeah.
I think the larger lesson to take away for me is, I like how you said don't sweat the small stuff. I have, you know, friends that I've talked to who are trying to plan weddings. They get so fixated on these little small things and forget that this is going to be a day you want to enjoy. Having less pressure is a big help. It allows you to kind of just appreciate the moments that you're having. It allows you to be more connected with your friends if you're not stressing over when's this going to happen, when's that going to happen. And also to utilize the amazing network of friends. The people you know, the people that you love are really going to help to enrich your existence in general.
Yeah. Every single person that touched our wedding was so special. Yeah, I remember us standing at our ceremony. I just took a moment and I stared at like the most important people of our lives that were just right there, and I just thought, wow, like this is it. Like this is all that matters.
Yeah, a lot of people have like these preconceived notions of what a wedding is supposed to look like. I think if you kind of just toss that aside and think about what it is that's important to you, the whole process is just a lot less stressful, and it also becomes just gratifying. I had such a great time. There's nothing I would have changed about it at all. A friend of mine, Santino, once told me, shout out
Santino,
that a marriage is whatever you make it. And I think that the partnership that I have with you is much the same. We're not basing our relationship on anybody else's relationship because they're not us.
Yeah, I agree. Like your marriage doesn't have to look like anyone else's, and neither does your wedding. And if money is the issue, you can be resourceful and clever, creative, DIY. We've always joked about this too. It's like, because our wedding was so beautiful and perfect, does that mean our marriage is going to be awful?
It's going to suck.
Because they say, you know, like if it rains on your wedding day, it's like good luck. I'm like, so what if it's like gorgeous and beautiful and the backdrop's wonderful and you cry and you don't sweat at all? Like what? Then what?
I guess we're doomed.
We'll see. Time will tell, my love. Love you.